by our own definition of terrorism, and I can say this as a former counterterrorist officer, we are the terrorists. We are the bad guys.
This is a former CIA officer, Josephine Gilio, speaking about Iran. It's interesting that even the people who were part of this machinery of death, like they signed up for it. They knew what they were getting into. At least to some degree understood what the U.S. empire was and what it did. Even some of them are breaking right now, are breaking ranks and going, this is a catastrophe.
And it was, without a doubt, a school if you looked at it through satellite imagery. It was, without a doubt, a school when you looked at it through the onboard camera of the Tomahawk missile. It was clear. Now let's talk about when the attack started on Iran. 10 a.m. At 10 a.m., Israel, along with the United States, began attacking Iran. By 10:20, the staff at Minab School began evacuating the children. Strike one. Hit the school. The kids moved to the prayer room. Strike two. Hit the prayer room. 163 kids dead. Strike three. Hit nearby. Multiple sources, including intelligence reports, regional sources, and U.S. officials are required to confirm a target for the U.S. Navy and military operations to ensure accuracy and reduce errors. This is how it works. This is how it worked that day. NBC News reports USS Sprunitz, a guided missile destroyer, shot the Tomahawk. Commander Leigh R. Tate, Executive Officer Jeffrey E. York, commanded USS Sprunitz, who shot a Tomahawk and killed 165 little girls. After this was done, the same destroyer conducted a replenishment at sea with USNS Henry Kaiser back ready to fire. March 4th, March 10th, and March 18th, they replenished their firearms. They replenished their weapons. No pause for review. No pause for investigation. No calls for this command to appear in front of Congress and report to the American people why we just bombed a school knowing it was a school. Nothing. Silence. Silence. Lies. Excuses. Who are the terrorists? Who are the terrorists? Who are the bad guys in this story? This is the story of our timeline. By our own definition of terrorism, and I can say this as a former counterterrorist officer, we are the terrorists. We are the
U.S. military does absolutely nothing to fight for the freedom of Americans. What they do is commit violence, almost always immoral violence, on behalf of literally the worst people in the world. Political psychopaths who don't give a crap about you or your freedom or anybody else's, and who are willing to commit absolute evil by way of obedient pawns in order to enrich and empower themselves. That is what the U.S. military is used for. That is all that the U.S. military is used for. Now, I know people don't like to hear this, and a very common response is, well, my son is in the military, or my father, or my brother, or my cousin, or my friend. Think about that response. If I say this organization is doing something evil, and you say, well, somebody I know is in it, that's not a rebuttal. What it means is somebody you know or a relative of yours is now an agent of evil. The U.S. military is the biggest terrorist organization on the planet, bar none, and it's not even close. And here's the problem. There are a lot of things that people can have opinions about, and I won't bother telling them that I think they're wrong about something if it doesn't particularly matter. A lot of people have religious beliefs or beliefs about this or that don't particularly matter, and they don't affect how they treat other human beings, and so I don't feel the need to go out of my way to tell them I think they're wrong or stupid or whatever. Here's the problem. If young, stupid men growing up keep hearing the propaganda that you can join the military and fight for our freedom and fight for our country, when that's a bald-faced lie and always has been, more well-intentioned but gullible and ignorant people are going to die. Now you can say, well, don't smear the memory of those who died in Vietnam. Those who died in Vietnam died for no good reason whatsoever. They played the evil war games of psychopaths. They accomplished nothing of value at all. They didn't fight for anybody's freedom. They just played an evil game of psychopaths. Now, that doesn't mean a bunch of people don't sign up and even go off to battle thinking they're doing something noble, although hell of a lot of them get there and realize, no, you're not. Has nothing to do with fighting for freedom or defending America at all. It never did. And people can get offended about that because people they know already suffered and died. Well, my cousin has his leg blown off. Do you want the next generation to do that too? Because you didn't have the balls to admit the truth, which is your cousin got his leg blown off for no fucking reason whatsoever, except he was gullible and fell for bullshit. And that is true of everyone in the U.S. military. None of them fight for freedom. And they haven't, ever. Well, you could try to make the argument for 1812, but I'm pretty sure nobody today is talking about that. And it's one of those things where it's actually a disservice to humanity to not point this out, even if a bunch of people are going to be offended. Because look at the propaganda the state uses. Worshipping soldiers. Thank you for your service. You served literally the worst people in the world and did absolutely nothing for decent human beings anywhere or for anyone's freedom. You did nothing to serve that. You don't deserve thanks. You fell for a lie. Now, maybe people can praise you if you had good intentions to begin with. Okay, thanks for having good intentions. If you thought you were charging off to battle to defend freedom and blah, 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 okay, be less gullible and stupid, but at least you had good intentions. But it doesn't change the reality. There are massive amounts of U.S. soldiers who have done profoundly evil things where other people killing them would have been absolutely justified. And in a lot of cases, were absolutely justified. If you're going to join in boots in the ground in Iran and violently invade a country that was no threat to us and didn't attack us, and they kill you, you deserve it. And I can hear people pissing in their pants already because we've been taught to worship the troops and support the troops, even if I may be against the war, but I support the troops. What the hell does that mean? You support people doing evil shit on behalf of political psychopaths, but you're against the exact same thing? They are the ones carrying out. They're the ones doing it. And it is an absolute disservice to humanity and morality and freedom and justice to support people who commit evil, even if they're only doing it because they were duped. And every time I do a video about this, one former thug of the state gets all offended. How can you say that about our troops? They're defending our freedom. Really? Try to describe for me what you think would have happened if mindless thugs of the U.S. imperialist war machine hadn't invaded Afghanistan or bombed Syria or people in boats. Who do you think was going to come here and take our freedoms? The only people who are a threat to the freedom of Americans are the ones that the U.S. military already works for. The idea that they're fighting for our freedom is idiotic, and refraining from pointing that out because you don't want to offend people. Which do you think is worse? Offending somebody or letting the next generation of gullible, clueless kids march off to die horribly or be physically or psychologically destroyed for life because they fell for bullshit? And they went off to play the war games of psychopaths like Hegseth and Mango Mussolini and Netanyahu, for that matter. It's not okay to not speak up against this, even if you're going to upset people, even if you're going to upset people you know. If you're in the military, you're an agent of evil. Whatever you thought you were going to be, whatever your intentions were, your job is obey politicians and kill people and blow things up when they tell you to. That's your job. If you thought that was going to be something pro-freedom, okay, you're gullible and don't understand history or politics or philosophy or much of anything else. But to not point out the reality, which is that a hell of a lot of U.S. military members are doing things which absolutely make them deserve to be killed. That is the truth. They are a terrorist organization. If you're randomly blowing up some boat in international waters because somebody told you to, because they said maybe they were trying to sell some illegal product to willing customers, you're a murderous piece of crap. And if somebody kills you, okay, the world's better off. Because if murderous pieces of crap, whether they're individually malicious or just stupidly acting on behalf of political psychopaths, you suck. You're an enemy of humanity. The U.S. military is the enemy of humanity. And it's amazing to watch people's complete inability to be anything close to objective. They look at the Iranian government, which, yeah, power-happy authoritarian buttheads. Oh, they do these things. They're terrorists. Who do you think has killed more innocent Iranians? The Iranian government? Like, we'll say this year. Or the U.S. government? Which one blew up a school full of children? Oh, that would be the thing funded by your tax dollars and done by the troops that you're cheering for. That mass murder, that heinous atrocity, that war crime. Are you going to pretend that didn't happen? Or the next best thing is, you're not going to pretend it didn't happen. Oh, well, that's unfortunate, and maybe there was a miscalculation, and we're going to make excuses for literal mass murder of children because those people are really scary. How long are you going to fall for that crap? And I'm not going to be one of the people who just quietly watch other people cheer for profound evil and terrorism and mass murder, because that's what the U.S. military does. It commits terrorism and mass murder. That's what it's doing in Iran. That's what it's been doing all over the world for a very long time.
Go ahead, please.
Your messaging on the war has moved from the war is coming to an end to war going to be bombing Iran to the Stone Ages. Right. And we've heard a range of those kind of messages. So which is it? Are you winding this down, or are you escalating?
I can't tell you. I don't know. I can't tell you. Depends what they do. This is a critical period. They have a period of, well, till tomorrow at 8 o'clock. I gave them an extension. They asked for an extension of 7 days, right? I said, Steve, give them 10 days. 10 days is up actually today, so I gave them 11, I guess, indirectly. I thought it was inappropriate the day after Easter. I want to be a nice person. They have till tomorrow. Now, we'll see what happens. I can tell you they're negotiating, we think, in good faith, but we're giving them till tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time, and after that, they're going to have no bridges, they're going to have no power plants. Stone Ages, yeah. Stone Ages.
Deliberate attacks on civilian infrastructure violate the Geneva Conventions and international law.
Who are you with?
I'm with the New York Times. Are you concerned that your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to war crimes?
No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with.
To bomb power plants and bridges amount to war crimes?
No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating.
Your threat to bomb power plants and bridges amount to war crimes?
No, I'm not. I hope I don't have to do it. But again, I just said 47 years they've been negotiating with these people. They're great negotiators, and because they're not going to have a nuclear weapon.